Welcome to episode 2 of the Skipton Scene. Welcome. So this is a show all about celebrating local businesses right here in the heart of Skipton with Skipton BID, and I'm very excited because today we've got Rhys from the Kit Vault. Rhys, how are you?
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. Have you done a podcast or anything like this before?
This is literally my first time. I spent my life listening to podcasts, but all of a sudden I'm on one.
Welcome. Well, There you go. Well, I hope it's good fun for you as well. It's going to be good. We're going to have a chat about your story, the Kit Vault, and your arrival in Skipton, which of course has been a really exciting event and a good story. And we've got some games to play along the way. It's going to be good fun. First question I had for you, Rhys. What is your title at the Kit Vault? Tell us a bit about it, because I saw somewhere online that your title was the head of adventure.
Yes.
And come on, that's cool.
It is, but the thing is if you've got your own business, you can make your own job title up, can't you? So why not have the best job title out there? I'll be honest, I started a Second Life Outdoors, kind of the company that owns the Kit Vault, about 5 or 6 years ago, and I was 21 years old at the time, and I thought, what is the best job in the world? And I was like, head of adventure, that'll be perfect. And
it's brilliant.
I've thought about changing it over the years. I'm 27 now, and I've thought about changing it over the years as I've sort of got more professional and stuff, and I thought, no, sod it, I really like that. That's just sort of a fantastic introduction.
Who says more professional needs to mean you have less fun?
Very true.
You've got to have fun with it. And that adventure side, is that something you've had your whole life? Where does the adventure come into this whole story?
To be honest, it started with Scouts, actually. Nice. I'd say I wasn't sort of at it for a really young age. I probably started in my teens, and it went from there. And yeah, I've just built my entire life around it now. But it's nice to be able to wake up in the morning and kind of do what you want to do, And for me, that's adventure in whatever way that might be for the day, know.
I used to love the Scouts. I did that as well. Do you do lots of expeditions? And there was what was it used to be called? There was a big sort of orienteering and first aid competition. It was Teco and Tuiri. Did you ever do those? Yeah,
we did all sorts. I mean, we did Duke of Edinburgh as well. We obviously did all the big day hikes and things, but I was always into the hiking side of things. And then, there was always the paperwork that had to come with the expeditions, and I just wasn't interested at all, and that hasn't changed. I'm still really interested in the adventure and paperwork.
Head of adventure?
Yeah, not so much. So head of adventure fits well here.
And where does the fashion side come into it? Tell us about the Kit Vault. Obviously, you've now opened up in Skipton.
Yeah.
Where did that interest in fashion, and particularly that outdoor and adventure fashion, come in, but also with a bit of a vintage twist as well?
Yeah, well, it is interesting to be honest. So Second Life Outdoors originally, which again is sort of the umbrella company, I suppose, started off doing exactly that just before COVID, which I'm sure we all remember. And I set it up at the time because I thought, outdoor kit's getting so expensive, it's becoming unaffordable. I mean, that rings true even more today than it did, 5 years ago, but that was the same case then. And I set it up, and COVID took it down at the time. It was impossible to run a small sort of retail business, and I pivoted the whole thing to the adventures, the outdoor side, which is what I still love doing today. And then the opportunity came up again to sort of, re-explore that option of the Kit Vault and that sort of vintage outdoor clothing scene. And we took it about a year ago with a small little shop over in Lancaster, and we've gone from there. But it's always been that affordability thing for me. The vintage is fantastic, and we get some incredible looking stuff from all over the world, and we focus on, importing from here, there and everywhere, and really, sort of honing in what we have. But for us, it's more about affordability in the outdoors, to be honest, than anything. It's that accessibility for people to be able to just wake up in the morning, put on the best gear they can possibly afford, and get out there. It shouldn't be a barrier for people, I don't think.
It's interesting, yeah, because that whole world of outdoor and adventure clothing has become sort of merged with the fashion and the brands and that high-end stuff. Yeah. What's your view on that? Is that something you try to tackle, or do you embrace that? And
I don't know. I mean, personally, as someone that likes these things, I sort of enjoy seeing what new companies come out with, what the old companies come out with, all the rest of it. It's a shame, I think, that a lot of quality has been compromised for fashion. There's a lot of brands that are starting to do that. North Face is one of the ones in particular that does it a lot. But even companies like Rab have started going towards that fashion scene, because business-wise, it makes sense. But it starts to outprice people who just want to go for a walk and want to wear a decent waterproof jacket, because the man on the streets now walking down with an Arc'teryx jacket, which is just something you wouldn't have seen 10 years ago. So for the companies, you can see why it makes business sense, and as a business owner I get it, but as someone that uses outdoor clothing, it's annoying to be honest. You get some cool looking stuff, but when the price tag doubles overnight, it's just it seems ludicrous really in some instances.
Yeah, it's tricky, and obviously you always dress the part. I'm loving the Patagonia, great brand, of course. Are you a climber as well? Are they climbing shoes or?
They're barefoot shoes, actually. Yeah, they're from my partner. She's from the Czech Republic, and there's a brand out there, and they make these barefoot shoes. So we've both got a pair of them, but
wow,
they're kind of nice. I did a lot of barefoot walking and things, but they're great for sort of like in between on towns and all that sort of stuff.
Washing socks as well, doesn't it?
It does save on washing socks. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Rhys, we have this feature on the Skipton Scene to try to get to know you quickly, loads of little bits about you and your business. So I've got 10 quick fire questions for you. This is called Skip to the Good Bit, okay? Sounds a bit like Skipton. It was the closest we could get.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you 10 quick fire questions. Don't think about it. I want an answer really quickly, okay? Right, are you ready? Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Okay. Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
Catch the sunrise.
Yeah.
Like it. Summer or winter?
Winter.
All right. Oh, okay. That surprised me a little bit. Now, a brand one. Columbia or Carhartt?
Carhartt.
Ooh, okay. Nike or Adidas?
Neither.
Yeah, fair enough. Now this is stretching my knowledge of 90s fashion wear, but would you go 90s grunge style or 90s streetwear?
Probably 90s streetwear, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have to explain what that means to me in a minute. Skipton Canal or Skipton Market?
The canal, definitely, yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, less people on the canal.
Yeah, true. That's true, especially on a market day like this. Mountains or beach?
Mountains.
No surprise there. Now, this is an interesting one. We asked this to our last guest. Social media or no screens?
No screens. If I could, no screens. It's impossible, but if I could,
everyone seems to say that. It's sort of a necessary evil, isn't it?
If you've got a business, it's impossible now.
We'll get onto that in a second. And now this is the controversial one, because you started in Lancashire, and you're still based in Lancaster.
Yeah.
And then now you've got a shop in Ingleton, don't you?
Yeah.
Based at Three Peaks, and now the one in Skipton. Lancashire or Yorkshire?
Well, I'm from Birmingham originally, so I suppose it is in the Midlands, isn't it? I don't know. I do quite like Yorkshire, though, to be honest.
Okay.
There are mountains in Yorkshire. There's no mountains in Lancashire, is there? So, if I like the mountains, Yorkshire's the one to go for, I guess.
Have you done the Yorkshire Three Peaks?
Oh, it's too many times.
Too many times. Have you got a record time? I've always wondered. I've done it a couple of times. I tried to do it quite quickly. But
I did it in 6 hours with a group once. Wow. But that was it was hard going.
Yeah,
people do it faster than that, but you've got to start break.
Did you run bits of that, or you just?
Yeah, you've got to run the flat sections because you're not making it otherwise. Yeah.
And can you do that from your shop in Ingleton? Can you start off there?
You could start from Ingleton if you wanted to make your life really difficult. Yes, you could.
Amazing. So out of that, then let's talk about the social media thing. How has that played a part in your business and setting up the Kit Vault? I've seen you've done a lot of YouTube yourself, documenting your adventures. Is that something you're trying to grow, or is that purely for your own sort of documentation of it? What's your relationship with social media?
I don't know. It goes in ups and downs, I suppose. I mean, I'm grateful for actually being involved in social media from quite a young age. I mean, I started making YouTube videos. God, it must be like, I don't know, over 10 years ago now, scarily. And back then they were ridiculous. They've sort of honed it a little bit more over the years. However, having that familiarity with social media has helped me with the businesses be able to sort of grow them, know where to push them, what to do, what not to do, without thinking about it too much. So, I mean, for us, it's a good outreach option, definitely. And the majority of people are on their phones. They are watching these things. So you've got to be there, because otherwise you're not even in the conversation.
And it's getting that engagement as well, isn't it? I've seen, because one of the things you do at the Kit Vault, you can tell us a bit about this, is you have these drops when you manage to get more stock in, exciting stock, things that you want to share. You've got to use social media, don't you, to get the word out about that kind of thing?
You have to, yeah. As I said, if you want to be if you want to be part of the conversation, you've got to be in it, haven't you? And that all happens online. But the thing is, there's some great things on social media, but it's just, you've got to be careful about what you're doing on there, I suppose. I mean, for me, it's very business focused, but it's so easy to get distracted on there as well. And you can see that people must just spend hours on there getting distracted, because that's what it's built for, isn't it? Ultimately, I suppose,
Yeah, it's really tricky, isn't it? And I think it's one of those things that has changed over time, and it's a really useful tool, but it's knowing how to use it in the right way. When it comes to Kit Vault, obviously people can go to your social media, Facebook and Instagram, and have a look. But what is it you guys are doing? What's a little bit different about Kit Vault, and obviously the shop that you've now opened on Skipton High Street? So
in regards to social media, or just generally the
just
whole
the business,
thing?
Because you're new to Skipton, which is lovely to see, and lots of people will have been coming in. It's different to a normal clothes shop, isn't it? You've got
it is, and firstly, it's fun, we like to think. I mean, the whole inside is yellow, which is quite nice. The floor's a bit crazy. We've got the big metal rails in there. We just wanted to try and make something that was on brand, and our brand is just being different. You know, you go into every outdoor shop that's around and they all look the same. You know, fantastic outdoor kit and different brands, but they all look very similar, and we just want to be that shop on the high street that looks a bit different. You know, if you can own a business, it shouldn't need to be boring, should it? You know, I want people walking in and going, oh, this is so cool in here. You know, you can achieve that with literally a tin of paint, so why wouldn't you achieve it, I suppose, you know?
It's one of the things people say a lot on the comments about the Kit Vault and on reviews and stuff, that it is fun. It's a really nice environment. You've got a good group of staff in there. How big is the team behind Kit Vault?
So, that's me and my partner. We run basically nearly everything, and then we've got about 3 or 4 members of staff. So, it's pretty small across it, really. But we just try and, you know, get people in who are also enthused about the kit and, you know, what they can find in there. Because for us, I know when we started, you know, there's just so many different like treasures and things you've never seen before, or clothing that's 40 years old, or, you know, North Face that was took up Everest. You know, I've got a down jacket at home that went on a Kilimanjaro expedition that came into us, and you know, you wouldn't find that. It's impossible to find those things, but through our store, because we see thousands of them, you do get these really cool items in. And for us, it's about that affordability thing, but actually you can get something for half the price of something new, and it's got a story behind it, which is, you know, super cool. You know, we got Patagonia that was made in the US. You know, it's not been made in the US for 30 years now, but it's still in such good condition because the quality and how they made things was just incredible, you know. So yeah, that's what we love about it.
That is such a lovely ethos behind it as well, because it's what you were saying before about how there's that merging of the good quality outdoor kit and how that's kind of been sort of blurred a little bit with fashion, and it gets expensive. So for people that still just love that adventure and therefore love the story behind it, it's such a great place to come in. And you've obviously got a lot of knowledge and a lot of enthusiasm around it. Do you find you have a lot of customers that come in just to sort of have a chat with you about it as well?
Yeah, we do. I think it's funny. It's one of those things where you can be doing something for a while and you don't realise that you know a lot about it. I mean, for me personally, I would say even upwards of 2 years ago, you know, I didn't really know a lot about this clothing in particular, but, you know, you work with it day in, day out, and you sort of, you know, you pick up a bit here and a bit here, and all of a sudden people are bringing stuff into you and going, do you know anything about this? And you're like, oh yeah, I do actually, you know, but you wouldn't think it in your head until you saw these pieces. But, you know, we know where things have been manufactured, how old they are, what run they are, whether they're special edition or not, and you just pick it up. But it's nice that people do come in for that knowledge as well, and it's nice to be able to have picked it up along the way, I suppose, as well, you know. But I think that's the beauty of anything, isn't it? If you do it enough, you suddenly go, I'm quite good at this, which is nice, you know. It's a nice skill for anyone to have, I suppose.
And it's so lovely to have a business that has ultimately come out of a hobby and something that you love as well. Yeah,
well, that's it, exactly. I mean, everything I do is always around sort of what I've done and what I enjoy, and, you know, you can really build something great then, I think, because you know what people are going to want, because you know what you want. So we just build a business to our spec that we think, if we walked in here, we'd think, God, this is so cool. And if we achieve that, then we think, well, fantastic, because the other people that are like us are going to think exactly the same thing. And especially with our Skipton shop, that's like 100% the case, which is really nice.
Yeah, well, gateway to the Dales, isn't it? There'll be so many people listening to this that have a very similar passion to you, and now hearing your story and the story behind the shop, it gives that extra level of love behind what you're selling and the treasures that they can get in there, I suppose. You mentioned that people can bring stuff to you as well. Do you do kind of swaps and things? Because a lot of what you sell is second-hand, is pre-worn, pre-loved. So do you get people bringing stuff to you that you can exchange?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we take in exchanges in stores. We do it mainly for store credit, just because it kind of, you know, we like that sort of circular economy idea, I guess. You know, people can bring in stuff, you know, we'll give you like a rough voucher price, and then they can trade it out for other things in store. We get quite a lot of people do, because a lot of people have got just all sorts sat in their attic, sat in their loft, but actually some of our most interesting pieces have been brought in by people who have just had a jacket in the loft for 40 years that they didn't even know was worth anything at all. And in this economy, these things are. People love these things that are 40, 50 years old, and the best things are the one that sat in someone's wardrobe for so long. It's like a barn find, but clothing, you know, like a wardrobe find.
And they built better quality as well, do you find? Things that were made, as you say, 40, 50 years ago. Was it better quality?
Yeah. There's only one answer for that, and yes, yeah, you know, and especially when these brands were starting out, the stuff was a lot higher quality is what we find. As the Patagonia manufactured in the US is unbelievable quality. We get Carhartt that was made in the US, again, 40 years ago or so, and it's like it was built to survive a nuclear apocalypse.
Because we think of that now as sort of a fast fashion brand in a way. It's very much taken on that ilk, but yeah, there's a lot of good quality stuff to be found.
Yeah, I mean, Rabber, another example, they used to manufacture in Sheffield, and we got in a down jacket that was 50 years old or so, and that was manufactured in Sheffield, and it looked like it had never been worn a day, and the guy had been climbing in it, caving in it, all sorts. He'd looked after it, obviously, but he'd used this piece of gear, and it came into us looking like the day would have walked out the shop 50 years ago.
Wow.
You know, I mean, it's on my personal coat rack at the moment, because I
just
saw it and thought, I saw that, thought that's for me for a bit, but it's even too warm for me. I mean, it's meant for, like, you know, Arctic conditions, so that's not quite happened in the UK yet, but the day it comes, I'm prepared.
No, well, it will do at some point, won't it? I was going to jump into the next section of the show, which we call Nice Advice. Now, you've obviously got a lot of passion behind your business and a great story with you and your partner having set it up. But this is the section where you've got a chance to say something to other local businesses or people looking at starting a similar business to you who might want a little bit of advice from the success you've had. So what's been the hardest thing, do you think, in setting up the Kit Vault?
I think the hardest thing is just realising you've got to commit a lot of time to it. You know, I think we live in a day and age where, especially because of social media, people think that you can set these things up in 5 minutes and they should be a success, but that just isn't the case. Like 99% of businesses are built via commitment. You know, if you're not committed to something, it's not going to work. And sometimes you can be as committed as you want to something and it won't work. That's just business. But you just got to put all your time and energy into it. Otherwise, it just doesn't. It's not going to get there. You know, nothing's fast.
Do you feel like you had that? Do you feel like you had that level of almost naivety at the start? Did you have that feeling that you thought, oh, this will be easy, this will be great, it'll be fun?
Yeah, definitely. I think anyone does, though. You know, because especially me, because I always have an idea and think, oh, I can't see any flaws with this whatsoever. And you know, in a way that's worked, because I think 80%, as long as you can get an idea to 80%, I always say just do it, because there's always going to be 20% that you think, oh, but what about this and what about that? But how many good ideas would have been left behind because of that 20%? Yeah. But if you've got the majority of it, you should just think, well, let's just do it, you know, and we'll find out, because that 20% will work itself out eventually. Yeah. And I think I've got better at recognising when I've got to that level and gone, there's a couple of bits, but, you know, we'll figure it out on the day. You know? It can't be that bad, can it, you know? So I think that's the main thing, is just being committed to something, but also just trying something too. So many people are scared to try something and never bother. Whereas you're better off trying and finding out, aren't you? You know. I
think that's great advice. It's great advice. It's a bit like that thing where it's best to always just say yes to an opportunity, give it a go, and then deal with what comes afterwards. But you regret the things you don't do, don't you?
You do, yeah. And you've got to be careful. I mean, you know, if you've got the idea to set up a multi-million-pound restaurant, and you start with a multi-million-pound restaurant, it's high risk, isn't it? But you know, if you've got an idea and it's small and the stakes are pretty low, I just do it. You know, find out, because it could be the best thing you ever did, but you'll never be wondering, because you'll know then, won't you? I suppose, which for me has always been the important thing. Is I'd rather know. Yeah. And you know, I've had loads of ideas and businesses that have failed, but you know, I don't regret them, because I just think, well, you know, I found out, so I know now. Otherwise, I'd just be wondering, which I don't want to do. So,
and are there any mistakes you've made with Kit Vault in the past? Has there been anything that's been particularly difficult to get over, or something where you look back and think, oh, could have done that differently? Or
yeah, the one thing we do at the Kit Vault's overbuy a lot, actually, and we're still doing that now. Because the way we buy in, and because of how we import, and because of changing things in the world, it's really tricky to gauge how many hundreds of items to buy every single month. So, yeah, we overspend on stock here and there, but that's probably the main mistake we make. We're getting better at it, but that's the thing, though, is it's not crippled us. And also, if you recognise it, you can do something about it, can't you? And that's the thing, is it's fine to make a mistake, but you know, you just got to recognise it and then change it up, and luckily we do now. So yeah, we're getting better.
Well, at least it means I know if I come in, there'll be loads of options.
Oh look, we have not got a shortage of stock at the Kit Vault, so do not worry about that. Please come to the Kit Vault, buy some things.
I might have to get you to give me a little makeover, a little adventure makeover. What's your relationship with sort of reviews and comments like? Because obviously now, anywhere you set up, even in Skipton, you've only been here a few weeks, a couple months, and you're already getting reviews coming in. And to be honest, there's some brilliant ones that I've seen for you online. Do you look at that? Do you take note of that, or do you try to avoid it?
We do, yeah. I mean, I think anyone does. However, I'm pretty switched off to it nowadays, because because I've had so much experience in social media and I spent so much time on it. You get so many people who just want to be negative and down on you, and you just have to read those comments and just think, yeah, anyway, next day, you know, because it just doesn't matter. You know, it's great when you get a good review online. We love it when people come in and they enjoy something, they want to share that experience online, but so many people just want to put you down as well. If 99% of people are liking something, and 1% aren't, then
why do we listen to that?
Yeah, exactly. Don't listen to the 1%, but normally they're the loudest in your head. But you just have to gloss over it and just think, well, it just doesn't matter, does it? It's an online world, you know.
Well, we want to be positive, obviously, and I have got a really nice comment which I'll read to you, and you can let me know what you think.
Yeah.
But somebody came in just 2 weeks ago and said, "Fantastic shop and such a great concept, giving pre-loved kit a new lease of life. Affordable clothing from brands such as Patagonia and North Face with regular stock changes, lots of buying, obviously. The trade-in option for store credit is very generous. The shop staff are very friendly and enthusiastic, and they know so much about the kit they're selling." What do you say to that?
Is that by Rob Marsden?
I actually don't know who that's by.
Do you not know?
I actually don't know who
I know
that's
who it
by.
is.
You do know who that's by?
I do, yeah. But again,
it's not a friend of yours.
No, it's not, which is actually fantastic. So they've become a friend of the Kit Vault because they've been coming in the last few weeks. And I saw them write that review because they've been in so many times and they knew it. And we didn't know Rob before we opened this shop a few weeks ago. But it's really nice that we've been able to build a relationship with someone in that shorter period of time. And they've really enjoyed the shop to that extent. You know, that's absolutely fantastic. I know the review because I see the majority of them. So that one was quite a nice one. So it sticks in my head. But it's amazing how, you know, you can really build a customer base in sort of short time, but also build that repertoire with people too. It's absolutely fantastic, you know, and that review is just really nice. It's great because it sums it up too. It just sums everything we do at the Kit Vault in one little review, which for anyone online, that's absolutely perfect, you know, that sort of thing.
It's great. Oh, well, you can tell Rob he's got a feature on the podcast. We'll send it to him. Now, we're going to move on to the main bit of this show, and this is the competitive bit. Are you a competitive person at all?
Known to be, yeah.
Known to be?
A little bit, yeah.
Have you ever done a big race up a mountain or anything? Have any of your ventures competitive?
I've done all sorts.
Amazing. Right, so this is called the BIZ Quiz. And to do this, I'm going to swap my little chair. Are you?
Oh, I can see it, yeah. It's absolutely fantastic.
No budget spared.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Our previous guest, Rhys, was Helen from Magpie in Skipton. Have you been into Magpie by any chance?
I don't think I have yet, no.
Well, it's a lovely local store selling lots of gifts and bric-a-brac and collectible items in Skipton. And Helen got 3 out of 5 on the BIZ Quiz. Okay. So bang in the middle. And I've got 5 questions for you. Some of these are about Skipton. Some of these are about your business, right? So you should...
I tell you what, I better get those ones right, hadn't I?
Exactly.
Otherwise there'll be questions when I get back.
Exactly. So, feeling confident?
Nope, but let's carry on.
You're the second on the leaderboard. Let's see if you can get higher than 3. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
I've got logo waiting, but let's see how you do. Okay. So, question 1. Now, this is a Skipton-based question. This is where I've got a shop front for you, and I have removed the name of the shop. And
honestly, if it was my shop front, I wouldn't know it. So this is going to be interesting.
It's not your shop front. Don't worry. So this is a Skipton shop front that is quite close to you, Rhys.
Oh, okay.
See if you can get which shop is that. And for people listening, it's got a green shop front. It's got some nice flowers, lots of lovely shelves.
I know where it is, but I'm embarrassed to say I don't know what they're called. They're just down. They're on Sheep Street, just part down. They sell
pretty much opposite you, Rhys.
Yeah, they do all sorts of nice bits and pieces. I just know them as the Green Nice Bits and Pieces shop. You know.
Well, that's quite a good name.
Yeah,
but
I'm going to go with that.
Green,
Are they not called that?
They're not called the Green Nice Bits and Pieces shop. I'm afraid they're called Artisan. Artisan Skipton. It's all right. There's 4 questions to go. Now
they should change their name. I think that would be the Nice Bits and Pieces shop would be better. Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll get them on and we can put that to them.
Definitely.
See
put it to them when they come on.
Now, question 2. Now, this is much more based on this is your area of expertise, I hope. Which country? And we have spoken about this. So I'll be amazed if you get this wrong. Which country is the retailer and brand Patagonia based?
Oh, well, the US.
Correct.
Yeah.
USA. Well done.
Okay,
Question 2 correct. Well done.
Okay.
Now, this is based on your slight rivalry, or maybe it's not a rivalry, maybe you don't see it like that, between Yorkshire and Lancashire.
Okay.
So, history question for you. Who won the War of the Roses?
Lancashire.
Correct. I'll give you that. And do you know who was in charge? Do you know who was head of the House of Lancaster at the time?
No.
I'll give you the point for Lancashire.
I'm pretty sure Lancashire won that.
I will give you the point for Lancashire. It's Henry VII. Henry VII. He defeated Richard III, a Yorkist.
Okay.
I did have to look that up.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, question. So you're on 1 out of 3 so far. So you can get. No, you're not. Sorry, you're on 2 out of 3. You're on 2 out of 3.
Don't cut me short here.
Sorry, I'm putting you down already. You're on 2 out of 3. Into question 4. What is the name of the canal that runs through Skipton?
Oh, no idea. Skipton Canal. Don't know, honestly.
Oh, it's not. I'll give you a clue. It's named after its start and end points. Does that help you at all?
You've got
You
no
don't know.
chance. Absolutely no chance.
You don't know.
Again, I just know it's very nice.
It is very nice. It is very nice, and it's quite a good challenge. This is an adventure for you that I've always wanted to do. Is you can kayak from the start to the end of it.
Can you?
And it's a really, really good trek. It's got some lovely locks in it as well.
Okay.
It's the Leeds-Liverpool Canal.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You'll kick yourself for that.
Yeah.
And if you go into the Boathouse pub as well, and have you been there on the canal in Skipton?
Yeah, I have been down there. Yeah,
They've got a big wall with a sort of painting of the Leeds-Liverpool Canal on it.
yeah, I know
You'll spot that now.
people cycle it all the time.
Yes,
yeah, I
they
do. Yeah,
Okay, so this is your chance now.
go level really. That's all I can do.
Are we on? Yes, we're on 2 out of 4. So you can go level with Helen from Magpie if you get question 5 right. And this is another picture question. Again, based on your area of expertise, so I hope you get this right. The question is, what brand of clothing, Rhys, is this person wearing? For audio listeners, you can see it on your screen, or it's a sort of white jacket with a front pocket. What brand do you think that is? I'm sure you've sold loads of them.
I don't know. That's tricky. It could be a few, couldn't it? Really?
It could. What do you think it could be? Tell me your thoughts, Rhys.
I don't know. I mean, I part of me thinks Columbia, because Columbia sell things. They used to sell things that looked exactly like that. Actually, honestly, it could be anything. North Face have got packables that look like that too from the 70s.
Does it look like a quality item?
Maybe.
Maybe. It's not
I don't
sure.
know. I'd have to
Depends
see
when
it
it was
in
made, I
person.
suppose.
Yeah, it depends when it was made, doesn't it? This really shows how a brand changes an item, doesn't it?
I'm going to have to push you for a final answer, Rhys.
Let's go North Face, but
North Face?
Pretty sure it's not.
It's not.
No,
I'm
it's
afraid.
not.
I'm sorry.
No.
It's Columbia.
It is
It's
Columbia.
Columbia.
Well, look, okay, it was in my list of answers. It is Columbia. Yeah.
It is Columbia. Well, very close. But Rhys, unfortunately, we're going to put you on the board, and you're second. You're in second place,
Yeah.
and we're going to put you 2 out of 5. There's the kit vault. We want to get a little bit of a conversation going between local businesses and local business owners. Obviously, you coming into the Skipton area, there'll be lots of people for you to get to know and get to visit. And so every guest, this is your Skipton visitor book.
Okay.
And every guest that comes in gets to write a question in the visitor book, which we then ask to the next guest.
Oh, okay.
And as I've said, it was Helen from Magpie was in last week, and she's left this question for you.
Yeah.
So she said, what top 3 things do you have on your wish list? And specifically, she'd like to know what's the third. Helen's point was that for lots of local businesses, everyone wants the same things. They want success, they want profit, they want good customers. But what would be on the top 3 things on your wish list? Specifically, what's third on your wish list?
I don't know. Wish list's hard, isn't it? Because presumably we're wishing for things we haven't already got. I think to see the business just be, stable on the high street would be a win. It's our first high street location properly, so to see it just be stable would be great. It's a lot of ups and downs, but that's just new business for you. Number 2 would probably be, again, just to reach more people and just get more people to know us, see us, and have a similar experience to what Rob's had over the last few weeks from that review. And then the third thing, she wants the third thing because you're running out by this point, aren't you, I suppose? Yeah. I think the third thing, it is to make a success of it, to be honest. We have made it become more of a success over the last year or so, but it's a big gamble for us. And, you're facing off against big retailers, especially in the space we're in too. And it's that hopefully we can just push to that proper success, but that's hard to define, I suppose, Amazing.
Well, thank you, Rhys, and I feel we're very lucky here in Skipton to be able to see the Kit Vault in one of its first locations, first high street location, and get to have that as a second option in great surroundings that we have here.
No, it's been, thank you for coming on. First podcast ever, didn't know what to expect, but I've really enjoyed it. And what a podcast. It could have been Joe Rogan, Impulsive, could have been any of them, but your Skipton is definitely the best one I could have possibly been on for the first, so thank you.
Thank you, Rhys. Yeah, well, thank you for coming on the Skipton Scene. It's really, really good fun. Just give us the plug of how people can obviously come in and see you on the high street in Skipton, but your socials as well. Yeah,
of course. I mean, just search the Kit Vault and you'll see it literally anywhere, because that's what we do.
Amazing. And there'll be links down in the description of this podcast to everything that you do, and links to Skipton BID as well, who have set this whole podcast up, and they do amazing things for local businesses here in Skipton, so we're very thankful to them. And you can get in touch with us here on the Skipton Scene if you email radio@yourskipton.com if you want to ask any questions. And finally, Rhys, before you go, you get a chance to write in this visitor book, so I'll leave that with you. And have you got a question you would like to ask to our next guest?
Yeah, I want to know how long they've been here and what their version of success would be.
Amazing. Thank you, Rhys. Well, thank you for coming on.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.